Today's Ask Me Anything is brought to you by our friends at Visionary Keto Food for Dogs, which is the food I feed my dogs, and they love it. Question goes out to Kokoraki, and the question is, thanks for the video and all the others you make available here. I have a question about prong collars. I'm using one on my 14-month-old Labrador who would pull like a train despite 9 months of consistent positive-only training. Initially, the prong collar transformed her behavior. She would walk next to me and pay attention to me and have more focus with only minimal taps on the collar to communicate unacceptable behavior. I'm using it correctly from my understanding and watching all of your videos on the subject. Gradually, she's beginning to ignore corrections and occasionally pulls with a lot of strength against it, like she's been desensitized. Any advice how to retain the effectiveness? Well, a couple of things that I would do is, I don't know, if you watch my videos, you should have watched the video on leash pressure. In other words, you don't want to force the dog through the prong to come back to you. You almost want to kind of nag her back. But more importantly than even that is you want the dog to understand leash pressure, that when you put pressure against this prong collar, how to turn that pressure off is to come back to me. And when you come back to me, there is a series of rewards or good things that happen. If that's not working, you might need to put a little bit more pressure on the dog because maybe her prey drives are kicking in. And a lot of times, if the desire, of the dog to go past that slight amount of pressure and you keep doing that slight amount of pressure, you make the dog numb to that pressure and you need to step up the correction a little bit. Make sure you're doing about turns and things like that, because you're just tapping the dog back. That's not as interesting as about changes, like 180-degree turns, which gets the dog re-engaged to you. That's really important. Infuse into it as well a lot of positive reinforcement when the dog is with you. Good girl, good boy. That's what I want, good dog. And keep your move dynamic, keep your walks going. Allow certain times for the dog to pee or sniff or whatever, and then demand the rest of the time that the dog pays attention to you. Make your walk a destination. You're actually going somewhere and going back. Don't meander around and just sniff, because when that's happening, when you're not paying attention to the walk, oftentimes the dog won't pay attention to the walk. And when that happens, then you're going to end up with a dog that's going to start drifting off and drifting off. And as the dog drifts with sight and scent and sound as well, the prey drive kicks in on the dog, and that makes the dog less likely to pay attention to you. And I think that's where your problem might be going. Focus on some other obedience, some good obedience, like sit down, stand, come, leave it, roll over, beg, sit pretty, whatever you want to do, because keeping the walk dynamic and engaged and something of an interaction between you and your dog makes for a lot more fun for both of you. Got a question? Ask me anything. Also, check my website, robertcabral.com, for all the best online dog training available anywhere. And hey, give Visionary Keto Food for Dogs a try. I'm certain you're going to love it.